I have with me two young heroes, Mohammed and Sultan. They were studying in Ireland. The pandemic brought them home. But soon after the quarantine period, they started serving people. So far, they've helped around 13,000 people, giving them food, dry ration. And thank you so much for your time. You went there to pursue engineering and science degrees. You got back, but you got into your feet just 2 weeks later to help others. What actually prompted you?
When we were back in Ireland, we were involved in a lot of social activities, and considering the fact that we came in dire situations, so we felt like when we were hitting a new reality over here in Chennai, when we were back home for good, perhaps, we thought we should make use of our skills that we learned overseas and to put it to use to our home population, our native population. So this was the basic idea. So we have these skills which we learned when we were in college. So why not put it into use to help our people, our own people in Chennai? Yes.
In a nutshell, what all you gave?
So we were able to feed 1,000 people every day for the past 30 days or during the initial 30 days of the lockdown. And apart from that, we were able to give kits, lockdown kits, which included pulses, rices, or different essentials, feeding our families for a week. So we did that in a staged manner so that we were able to reach maximum people. So this was like sanitation workers, auto drivers, or anyone who have lost their income due to this lockdown. So we were able to do that for over the past few days, and we are still hoping to continue.
You're too young for this kind of work. How did you manage your funds?
Age is just a number. So we planned in such a way. We didn't expect such a response initially, but we just put our best foot forward. We started a GoFundMe page, which we managed to receive funds from across the world, from the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, name it, whichever country. We got donations from wherever. This was mainly due to our friends, families, and social circles, which spread it across. Our university shared our initiative as well, so that gave this this initiative a boost. And so there are a lot of organizations such as CNN, BBC, which boosted this cause as well. So these kind of like promotions, and we are grateful to them. These kind of support helped us raise funds for conducting this program.
Any particular touching case that moved you?
So this was like small thing. Me, Muhammad was speaking like during the distribution of days when we stopped giving out food, and then we had this live counters of serving food. A small child, like, he came in with a small lunch box and he was like, "Anna, sapad pununga." Like, that was like touched our heart. Right. Of course, at the same time, there's an anger that the government isn't doing anything, but we're happy that we're able to serve at that point. That was like a touching moment for us.
People who are affluent, who are well above the poverty line, middle class, upper middle, do you think it's important everybody thinks in terms of giving it back like this?
Yes, it is important, because this is a society that gave them the situation to grow at such a place, and put them in such a stature. So it is important that we give back to the society to maintain the balance and to maintain a sense of giving and sense of charity for them. And it kind of doesn't like. So we have examples globally where there is a huge divide between income inequality. So it is important that we take proactive decisions and try to shorten the gap and help each other. Right. So that would lead to a better society, especially when there is a pandemic like this. It is a right time to reflect on the privileges that we have and use the privileges to help those who are not privileged.
How much were you able to raise? And people are quite generous even amid a pandemic.
Yeah, that's surprisingly because everyone has lost their income, whether it's businessmen or daily wage workers, everyone has stopped their income. But we were able to raise around 6 to 8 lakhs, that was able to Indian rupees from different sources. So we were able to use that for the daily things and kits. So no, that's a surprising fact that people are ready to give. Like, come on, just do it. We're ready to give. We're ready to feed the people. Because they're always, I think in India we have this inequality here. One has it, one doesn't have it, and we're there to bridge the gap between both. And that's been going well with the amount of people.
There's also a debate: should we give people food? Should we give them money so they can buy what they want? What is your take on that?
So right now, I feel it is better that we give them food that is that I feel is more efficient use of the money that we have, because money I feel is the way I'm seeing in the media and the news, like it's being misused, that people are going for the head of the family is usually are not behaving really responsible, and they are spending the money that
Men are responsible.
I mean
That shouldn't be strictly there.
yeah, so usually they tend to spend. I mean, we saw the crowds that the Tasmac had when
I mean, liquor shop.
Yeah, the liquor shops had when they opened, and I was surprised when I saw that in the newspaper on the news. And I feel it is more prudent that we give food kits at the moment, or in the long run we can probably educate them and make sure people are more self-disciplined, and probably close down Tasmac or the government.
Right now, our intention is to serve people, because the debate of giving them money or giving them food could be held later. But right now, that people should get the food, and then until the lockdown is there, they should not sleep hungry. That's our main objective. Because now we have this slow unlock process. Now we could think about how different we could do, or whether money would work, or 50% money or 50% food, or some sort of equation would work. Until then, food and kids is the way.
What next in terms of your career, your higher studies?
Yeah, we've been thinking about it, but this pandemic has not allowed us to settle with an option. So hopefully we continue this program till whenever we can, and benefit as much as people as possible, and perhaps like get into some charity work for the next year until the situation, because I'm not able to think about any career options with this kind of situation. Not that there is any opportunity as well. So probably help people.
Is there a sense of uncertainty, lack of clarity among youngsters who are finishing degrees now?
Of course, yes, because students are not put into this such of events of late, because I think this is the first time that students are like, usually they're asked to study, and then you're going to get jobs, you're going to get all these things. But now, okay, study for what? And then do we have the economy? Do we have the businesses? They're all not in a very positive note or something. So I think it's like a kind of a break or something, where students are graduating, business aren't running. This is like not the usual set of things which are happening. So students tend to be like little lost or something. But I think like with the clarity coming around from different communities across the world, because we have seen different countries coping up, like students from Spain, students from England, students from Ireland, like how they've been, few are putting up themselves as volunteers into medical forefront just to distract themselves from the news of joblessness and all these things. So I think the same thing we could do it here as well.
Is there a need for shift the way youngsters think as well, from the usual salary, profit-centric education towards discovering joy in helping others, reaching out to others as well?
Absolutely, that is one thing which me and Sultan have we always discuss about this, because the thing we notice with youngsters, like when we speak to our friends over here or there as well, for example, they're always hell-bent on getting a job, and like I'm not blaming them, like people have a lot of financial commitments and responsibilities to fulfill, but I feel the pursuit to a job or a livelihood should be more than just the financial figures that they're receiving. It should be for the impact that they're making to the community as a whole. And I'm not saying it's bad to earn money. That would be like radical statement to say earn money, but at the same time don't neglect your responsibility to the society, and try to keep in touch with that aspect of giving and helping others, so it keeps the human part in you alive. So that's what I feel.
People tend to forget the larger picture, like, okay, you're going to earn, you're going to spend and all these things, but at the same time you have responsibilities, because you are educated. Probably in India you could see, like, from a village there might be 10 graduates, but they come into cities and then they start earning, and then they neglect the responsibilities which they have back home. So some sort of little bit, they need not give up their whole career and get into social work or something, but starting like 30 days, they have at least weekends, start going volunteering, encourage other people, because I think like more than the old people doing, like starting youngsters, if youngsters start, there's like a big army coming in, like big students coming, because I didn't expect the same, because when we started it, we had a number of calls, 50, 60 students, like we want to join, all these things.
Yeah, and it's kind of cliche to expect always youngsters to come, but I mean we have to buy the cliche as well, but so I feel like, so people have to like volunteer to understand that even for the political structures as well, only when people start volunteering and getting into action, people understand the difficulties that are involved in governance and practicalities, and in order for the future to have a better governance, or like to omit the problems that we have currently, it is important that people not only think about their jobs but to think about society as well.
A little bit more, nothing
Yeah.
much, it's something a little bit more.
Sultan and Mohammed, thank you so much for your time. Inspirational youngsters They've reached out to 13,000 needy people during this pandemic in Chennai. In Chennai, with camera person Edwin, Sam Daniel, Find It TV.